Massive price cuts have gone global. The competition is terrified. Or at least they should be. If they're not, what are they doing? I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. Yeah, so we're on the live show. The Friday live show. Or maybe it's a condensed one over the weekend on My Tesla Weekend. If this is My Tesla Live, you know which one it is. It's whichever one. It doesn't. Who cares? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Sounding good, looking good. JD, good to see you. Haven't chatted in a while. We need to catch up. Okay. So, don't know if you heard. Look at that. Tesla cuts prices for the 3 and Y across Europe. Big cuts. Norway, Germany, France, Netherlands, UK. This was after big cuts in Asia and Oceania last week. And cuts, in US. In the U.S., too. United States is a country where Tesla sells a few vehicles. What does it mean? Well, first, let's look at the price. It was going up, 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 up. I think if we click on it, we get a better picture. And back down. And back down. Thank you, Tesla, here for the wonderful graph. Oh, but why don't we zoom out and go back? Yeah, there's the Model 3. Started so high. Those were ambitious days. Got down to a low of 55,000. We're basically right back there. So I wouldn't say that prices are spiraling. I would say they're reverting to average. The Model 3, looking good. And the standard range, more expensive than it's been in the past. We got some chattings to do about that as well. Do you know that the software options are excluded from the price cap? So if you want to get enhanced autopilot or full self-driving, you can do that. I don't know why anyone is buying full self-driving though, because it's $15,000, and if it's $200 a month, assuming they don't change the price, which they may, that's 75 months, isn't it? Yeah. Are you going to keep it for 75 months? A lot of people don't. I don't know. It's a gamble. The nice thing about doing $200 a month rather than $15,000 is Tesla can count all of it in the month it's received rather than deferring some of it. Because when the month expires, it's expired. So today we're talking about some cars. Now there's going to be a lot on this list that aren't here yet. A lot of folks have cars that have not completed this process. But let's start with the Mach-E, which has a price cap of $55,000, that covers a lot of their models. Where are you, Hyundai? You're not on the list yet. That's fine. Tesla, all their vehicles are on the list at various prices. Just about, nay, all of them now qualify, right? This one might not. The all-wheel 5-seat. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. And the Volkswagen. Everybody else, get your lists sorted out. So in the design studio, you can see Model Y is now $52,990. $52,990. And that's before the $7,500 discount. So that's going to make it a lot harder for the competition to, you could have said yesterday, day before, well, Teslas are a little bit more expensive. There are other cars that are almost as good, and they are cheaper. That time may have passed. Looking at some of the specs here, I'm just looking at like the acceleration and the range and whatnot. Because I'm going to make some comparisons. Here's the ID4, just making some comparisons. Because we're going to go to a chart here. I'm going to give it to you all at once. Ooh, I guess I should have made that a little smaller. All right. There we go. So the Model Y, 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. This first chart is cheap. The cheapest you can get from these brands. $52,990 after credit. Gives you a monthly payment of $753. That's assuming $10,000 down or a trade worth $10,000, 6% interest, 72-month loan, and just paying a lot of the costs out of pocket. Something about that. About there. You can get a much slower Mach-E for a little bit less money. You can get a slower ish Kia EV6 for more money. And an ID4, you can get a real base one that is slow for a decent price. Now we could step that up, and I've got all these here. I looked at the different prices. I shot right around the 55,000 mark, because if they're a couple bucks over, they're probably going to adjust it. The Mach-E Select, is this a real car? I'm not sure. And then I used these are the interest rates on a 72-month. 6% seemed pretty common. What's this guy? We'll get to that. So yeah, if we're looking apples to apples, where we're getting cars that are about 45-ish after all your discounts, you get some different choices here. Best range, that's a Tesla. Quickest 0 to 60, that's a Tesla. There's other differences between these cars that you may know about. Did you know that only one of these on the list really has over-the-air updates in any practical sense? A lot of these are only two-wheel drive cars. The Tesla's not, it's an all-wheel drive. The driver assist features, the technology suite, a lot of these cars really want you to pay a lot of extra money to get things that I think they should just include, like premium features, I guess you'd say. But really, only the Tesla is categorized as a premium car. So which would you rather have? Which would you rather have? A slower car with worse charging, two-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive? It doesn't make sense, man. Why would you do it? And for fun, the ID4, 295 horsepower. I mean, that's kind of weak for a $54,000 car. That's kind of weak. You could say I'm going to get the EV6. The EV6 is nice and quick, super quick. This GT 3.3. If that's correct, man, that's a fast car. That wins. That's a good one. But the range, 249, you can say, I'm going to pay $50 a month extra to get the EV6 because I want that extra little bit of boost and don't want to buy a premium, a performance model. But you could say, you know what? I'm standing up to Twitter man bad. Now, I'm not a fan of Twitter, just like generally. Wasn't before, still has not changed. But I would say, if you can get a much better car for the same price or a bit less, this is the lowest payment of these four cars. The supercharging network alone, the charging speed alone. And these guys can, and probably will, lower their prices because they have to. They're not making money on these cars. Not yet. They're subsidizing their losses with their internal combustion sales. And if they keep doing that, hopefully they're selling enough that they don't have to keep buying ZEV credits from Tesla. But here's the other thing. There's a lot of efficiencies that are going to go into this. Efficiencies in price, efficiencies in the cost of the Teslas on the back end. We know it is profitable to sell a Model Y at prices like we have seen back here. At these prices, the Model Y was profitable. They were making money. Now, inflation has cut into that a bit, but they were only making them out of, I guess in 21, I guess they were making them in more places, but were they? No. They were only making them in their least efficient factory, Fremont. Well, Shanghai is more efficient still. They've added more mega castings to make the vehicle even simpler to build. Even when the Model Y first came out, Sandy Munro from Munro & Associates said, this car is cheaper to build than the Model 3. So we've got all those efficiencies. We've got new factories that are, in Tesla's scheme, third or fourth generation. It's beautiful. They've got the margin. They've got the efficiency. and they've got their own battery production. Giga Nevada is a U.S. domestic battery maker as defined by the, what are we calling it, the Inflation Reduction Act? Well, maybe it isn't reducing inflation since it just cut the cost of your cars quite a bit, and a car is a big expense. The factory makes, 40 gigawatt hours a year? Something like that. It's churning something like $1.5 to $2.5 billion in back-end credits for U.S. domestic battery manufacturing. So even if these cars were sold at an absolute break-even, for every one you sell, there's a ton of money on the back in batteries, in battery credits coming back. That's crazy. And all these cars are an investment in the future. They're going to be self-driving at some point, and when they are, that's a switch that's going to flip, and we're looking at $1 trillion in revenue coming in all the time. More units on the road, the more it goes. So, Fail Trains did point out the cutoff is 55,000. That's correct. I went about 55,000. If they're $100 or $500 over, they can adjust it. So they've got efficiencies. The money is there. And if this doesn't make the competition scared, the competition ain't paying attention. But did you know it's not just the 3 and Y that got cheaper? No, the S and X did as well. The Model S Plaid is down to $115, $21,000 less than it was. The Model S Plaid is very fast, and it's pretty darn comfortable. I haven't been in the S Plaid. I've been in the refreshed X. Jeff knows about that. It's very comfortable. It's even on long drives. It's fine. It's great. The sound is good. The view out the window is marvelous. It's a great car. It is not the most comfortable car I've ever been in. That would probably be an S500 or 500. S series Cadillac, Mercedes. Wow. Mercedes makes very comfortable cars. And actually, for that matter, even a new Cadillac is pretty comfortable. So, that's great. Who's buying the Plaid S? This car that does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. Bad news, it's probably these folks. Look at this. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. That's a pretty hot car. 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. 179. Oh, my eyes are watering. Oh, it's so spicy. It's a pretty car. If you can fit in the door hole, which I can, I guess. My head kind of bonks on the sill. Not super excited about that. Sill, now you know what I mean. The door hole. That's the scientific term. It is, are you going to buy? And 2.6 seconds, that's great. It is fast, Kind of like a Kia EV6. I mean, which would you rather have? The Lucid or a Plaid Model S and a Kia EV6? Lucid has got to be scared. They've got every right. The only way they're beating here is on the 446 miles. Now they've got the Sapphire coming out, which 0 to 60 in 1.9. In a quarter mile, we've seen some drag races on YouTube. It can beat the Plaid. Barely, not by much. Does the Sapphire actually exist? It's not very available. And do you really need to go any faster? I don't think Tesla's going to uncork the Plaid to go faster. They probably could. I think they're going to wait and make the Roadster the fastest, which is probably going to be about 1.5 years out, would be my guess. So we're going to go into some questions. The Q&A. For those of you just tuning in, for those of you not familiar with the channel, the Q&A we do the whole thing. We go into it, we do the Q&A hole, and we answer questions. So let's see what's we got. And then there were some pre-show chat questions that were asked about that we may address as well if they are still important. Yeah. Looking up the Lucid, not what I expected. Lucid Grand Dysentery really runs fast. Oh, John, that's correct. Lucid is a secret ploy by the U.S. auto industry to get revenge on the Saudis by bleeding them dry gently. That's funny. I would... Do you think they're going to use semi-motors in the Cybertruck? Oh, I did see you ask about that on Twitter earlier. Jeff and I may have spoken to someone who has information on that. But I don't know if his information is complete. Yes. Sandy Monroe believes so, that those same plaid-style motors will be used in the Cybertruck. And when it comes to engineering, Sandy's pretty right. It may only be on the top models, but we shall see. You're allowed to say that you're not allowed to say. Yeah, it's not that I'm not allowed to say, it's that I'm trying to remember accurately and get it right. Do I think sales will spike tremendously after the price reduction? So first of all, I'm furious about the price reductions. How dare they? Marketing 101, you don't take a third off the price. You run a promo, buy two, get one free. Because that would help not regular people. It's a joke. So, I believe absolutely sales will spike. Somebody on social media pointed out that the units available in inventory dropped nationwide by 1,000 in the hour following the announcement. So, that's pretty cool. Lucid needs lubed doorways. Yeah, Lucid has parking lots full of these. They made 3,500 last quarter and sold over half of them. Sorry, delivered over half. They may all be sold, but logistics are a challenge. That's why it's a whole thing. It's a whole industry. Starting a campaign. Yeah. If they need to, they will drop it down to 55,000 to get below the line for the bonuses. I assume you mean all manufacturers. I think all manufacturers will do that. I think they will all try and have something available under the cutoff. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more white Model Ys than we are used to. The Model Y is a good car. It is very popular. And this makes it an everyman car. Last year, the average price of a new car was something like $45,000. This gets it within range of that. And for that matter, let's look at the Model 3. What is the price of it now? It is $43,990. You whack $7,500 off that, and you're talking $36,500. That's your $35,000 Model 3 right there, isn't it? That's the fabled car. But it's not a limited trim, limited range, limited everything. It's the real Model 3 for $36,500. Adjusted for inflation, that's below the $35,000 that you were promised. That's a good deal. If you can fit in a car that holds 5, that's a good deal. You're out the door at $36,000 on a car that costs you $5 to fill up. That has no maintenance, that doesn't blow a head gasket or need an oil change, which I had to do today. And they come out and they're like, oh, your coolant is low, $10 to top it off. You guys don't do that anymore? You don't include that? No, sir. No, sir, we do not. So that's, yeah. These are everyman cars. Once again, how do I feel about it? I'm excited. They've got the margin. But this means demand has ended. Demand is down for all cars everywhere. In 2016, China peaked at, I think 27 million units, 27 million passenger vehicles sold. It was 2016 and 17, they both sold about 27 million. Last year they sold 21 million. And it's been down steadily since 2017, even before the pandemic. Passenger vehicle sales are down. Meanwhile, during some of those years, Tesla's been growing in China. So there is, and interest rates are higher. You know, we're seeing on my chart, I showed 6% interest on these. I mean, but look at that, an ID4 for $550 a month with only 10,000 down. That's not bad. But all these cars, yeah, we're talking 6% interest. It was a year ago, you could get 2-3% interest. Interest rates have gone up. That cuts into your buying power. So if the objective of the Inflation Reduction Act is to make stuff cheaper, a whole bunch of cars did just get cheaper. Not just because there's some federal money coming your way, but because the manufacturers are lowering the costs to give you a better car for less money. So all that's very exciting. Let's see what we've got here. Replacing rusty exhaust systems is no fun. Yeah, my minivan is making a new exhaust noise that I'm not super jazzed about. It's quiet, it's subtle. I gotta really think about, is it really a new sound, or did I just not notice it before? I'm not sure. Greenpad points out additional economies of scale are incoming. Yes, not just because they're making more, but because as the competition falters, that glass supplier, that brake supplier, that tire supplier wants to sell to someone. They're going to sell to you. And they're not going to be able to premium price you because they're short on supplies. They're going to sell it to you at the most competitive rate because they need to move the units, or you'll buy them from someone else. I'd still rather buy 35,000 of stock than a car. Yeah, that's... Yeah, if... yeah. If I don't need a car today, so I would do the same. My Tesla webpage is out of date, and I just uploaded it this morning. Okay. Is it a really new sound, or did someone steal my catalytic converter? Mine, it's just very, very subtle. So it's definitely not that. And I live in the Northwest. Our catalytic converter ring was broken up about 6 months ago, which is good because they were very aggressive in Portland. And I'm just an hour from Portland. MD, I did not catch Jeff's video, but I did see all the parts. I saw the pictures I support him on Patreon, so I saw the pictures before the video came out. And it is exactly as we expected. Very exciting. I'm going to say thanks real quick to my patrons and all that good stuff. A couple names I need to update on here. We'll continue with the Q&A, but this is where the regular show on the main channel ends and the live show continues here on the second channel. So let's get into that. The price changes moved me closer to buying the car over the stock. Yeah, Charlie, of course. And that's the thing is, 2 days ago, I was convinced I will never be able to buy a Tesla. By the time the price gets low enough or my income gets high enough, they will no longer sell them because they'll be robo-taxis. Well, it's closer. We're a lot closer now. The price, change moved you closer. It takes 3 months to assemble something that big. It's the size of a house. The 9,000 ton press, very big, very bulky. It is a bulky boy. So in the pre-show chat, a question was asked. Let me see if I can find it. Who is this asked? Your lack of content and engagement recently has me questioning what's going on. So, what's going on? And JJ said, for once I agree with the fanboys. Where is Brian? So there's a couple parts to that answer. The first is my motivation has been lacking because my success has been elusive. It's difficult to get ahead on a channel, and I don't have some of the attributes that have made some of the other channels overnight successes, or just big successes at all. I mean, I'm at 540, 50 videos, so it's not like I'm looking for an overnight success. I haven't gotten lucky with a viral video, and success has been elusive. And there are big events that I've tried to go to, that I'd like to go to, that don't invite me. Even ones upcoming, where there are people who I interact with on a regular basis, who are able to get videos, able to get people to events and whatnot, who are just not interested in maybe they don't watch my channels. I don't know. Maybe they don't find my information valuable. I don't know. So those are yeah. And there's kingmakers out there who fancy themselves capable of making anyone big and successful, who have chosen not to watch my videos. One of them, I contacted him directly and said, man, I'm not asking you for money or anything like that. I just want to know what it would take to get to get you to actually watch my videos. And he said, I don't know, maybe you should buy a microphone. I'm like, buy him? What do you mean buy him? So, well, do you have a mic? I'm like, yes, you don't watch my videos. So, yeah, so that's tough. And then in terms of my personal time, I've been trying to spend more time with my family, and I've been trying to work on getting the channel rebrand addressed. And I've had some, financial things that I need to work with, because despite the amazing generosity of the community, this is not a full-time income, not even a minimum wage one. It'd be minimum wage if I lived in Arkansas, but I live in Washington, and it's tough. It's real tough, and I've got some things coming up that'll make this a little easier, but it is tough. It's tough, and I just gotta power through it, get it done. And so, yeah, it'll get there. It'll get there. If there's an event you see coming up that you're going to, and you think I should be at it, tell me. Tell them. Tell them. I have. I've been passed over as a guest for literal jokes before, like not even real people, but like jokes. Like, I've been passed over for people who used to tweet about Tesla and don't anymore. Like that would be a good guest to have here, to have them speak. Someone who owned a Tesla in the early days and doesn't talk about it anymore. So, I don't know. There's a limit. I mean, I can't make you love me. But it's, yeah. And Jeff says, hang in there. I'm still hoping to get investor days. Yeah, they need a PR department. That'd be great. It'd be nice if if their investor relations department gave 0.2 of a damn, or the board of directors did something other than rubber stamp whatever Elon wants to do. Yeah, but it's, it's tough. It's, we'll get there, man. We'll get there. It's just really hard to maintain high levels of motivation when success is so elusive. I scripted a video about another channel who's a hyper bull, and how he gives bad advice, like genuinely bad advice. Like if you follow his advice, you will go broke. Bad advice. And people love him. He is huge. But his advice is absolute garbage, and he lies about it. I haven't made this video because I don't throw much shade, and as much as that shade I feel needs to be thrown, I'm still considering it. I've still got it here in my little book. I don't know, man. I feel like it needs to be said, because there are people who are giving. One time I was in Vegas, and I made a joke to the man at the table, the guy, the dealer. And I said, oh, you a gambling man? Just trying to be funny. And he said, no, sir. I don't give my money to millionaires. That always stuck with me. I don't give my money to millionaires. Now I'll buy things. I'll buy something from a millionaire, but I won't give it to him. That's weird. Yeah, one day we'll all fund Brian's Netflix comedy special. Funny about that, Digital Blade Canada. Jeff has seen my comedy special. But actually, for real, no, he has. So, that's it. That's where we're at. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Yeah, sometimes shade is nice on a hot day. I agree, John. And that's something I haven't ruled out because he's lying. He tells huge, huge lies. You know, he makes mistakes. Big, egregious, ridiculous fudge-ups that are the kind of thing you need to sit down and own. You need to say, look, man, I made a mistake. I know I'm trying to tell you what the future will hold, but it's evident I can't tell you what the present holds. So, yeah, it's pretty painful and dishonest. So what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it in them comments below. You know what to do. Like not paying his taxes. Oh, I don't know who did that. If someone didn't pay his taxes, I don't know who that is. Yeah. So, have a good weekend, you guys. I've got some stuff coming up. You'll see. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots. On the other side, on the flippity flop. Who knows, man? Who knows?